Sweet children, you have now moved away from the Shudra clan and come into the Brahmin clan. The Father has adopted you through the mouth of Brahma. Therefore, you've been adopted through Brahma, through his mouth, adopted by God through Brahma's mouth. So therefore, maintain this happiness. Question. Which deep secret can only you children of the Brahmin clan understand? Only you children of the Brahmin clan can, sorry, Baba, the incorporeal Shiv Baba is your father and that this Brahma is your mother. Only you children of the Brahmin clan can understand this deep incognito secret of how the incorporeal God is your mother, father, brother, and your friend. So I always share with you that I felt right away from the beginning, this was my father. I finally found my father. I've been away. I lost my father for so many lifetimes. And it took a lot longer before I figured out the relationship with Baba as my mother. But then when I finally got it, then I would tell myself, I got a mother and a father. I finally have a mother and a father. Not because I didn't physically have a mother and a father, but like by my standards of what a mother and father should be, they were like just so below that standard. Appreciative that they gave birth to my confidence age body, but not much more than that. But I found my true mother and father. So much love is in that relationship, those relationships. So then he goes on to say, only you Brahmins can understand this incognito secret of how incorporeal God is is your mother, father, brother, and your friend. In this too, those who are to claim a high status in the deity clan will understand this secret accurately. They'll understand it with great detail and the experience of it. Now, you all say Baba is my father, but do you experience it? Do you have the feelings of him like he's your father? And if you did have such feelings, then what would be apparent? You'd match the Dharna to your father's Dharna. It's easy to say, oh, he's my father, but if you don't have the realization, recognition of what that means, then you won't change yourself. And if you don't change yourself, do you really recognize him as your father and your mother? Never mind your brother and your friend. Om Shanti. You children who are sitting here understand that your Bap Dada has come. Father becomes combined with Dada. It's therefore said that Bap Dada has come. He is also the teacher. Bap, the father, cannot tell you anything else without Dada. Let your intellects work on this because this is something new. The path of bhakti, they only remember a single one. They would say their guru is at such and such a place. They know the name of the body. They say our father, our mother is at such and such a place. They have names and forms, etc. People have then written this briefly, but whatever they have written, it is wrong. They say our father, our mother is at such and such a place. They have names and forms, etc. People have then written this briefly, but whatever they have written is wrong. Although you are the mother and father, uppercase is remembered, that is sung of only the one. It's not even sung for Brahma. Neither his name nor his form enters their intellects, nor do those of Vishnu or Shankar, their forms. They sing, you are the mother and father, and we are your children. In spite of that, their intellects go up above. They wouldn't remember Sri Krishna at that time. They would still only remember the incorporeal one. There is his praise, the Father explains. When you sit here, remove your intellects from worldly relations and remember the Father from beyond this world. So you shouldn't even be thinking about anybody that you know physically who is in a physical form. That would be a sign of stable intellect, unshakable, concentrated. They simply sing songs like parrots. You wouldn't even say this Lakshmi Narayan. You wouldn't even say this of Lakshmi and Narayan. You are the mother and father. They were an emperor and empress. Only their children would call them mother and father. Their children would not call them brother. Devotees remember the purifier, but it doesn't enter their intellects that he would be the Shiv Lingam. They just sing, O God. Who said, O God? To whom? They don't know anything at all. They had the knowledge that they are souls calling out to God. They would realize that God is incorporeal. Semicolon. His form is the shape of a lingam. No one remembers the Father accurately. They don't know what attainments they have received from him or when they received them. Even you didn't know this. You now belong to the Father. You know that Shiv Baba has made you his children through Brahma. This is Mother Brahma. Shiv Baba's adopted you through Mother Brahma. At this time, you understand very clearly that you are Shiv Baba's children. Then, in the corporeal form, you are the children of Prajapita Brahma. The human world is created through Prajapita Brahma. It isn't that the new world is created. No, he comes at this time and adopts you. You call him mother and father. Therefore, Shiva is father and Brahma is the mother. They are called mother and father. Father tells you through Brahma, you souls are my children. He sits here and gives you the recognition of what a soul is. They say that a soul resides in the center of each forehead, just like a star. They don't know anything else. They cannot say that a soul takes 84 births, that a soul plays a part through a body. When a soul sheds his body and changes his name, form, place, and time, his whole family changes. He knows his parents to whom he was born to, and he then belongs to the family who adopted him. You moved away from the Shudra clan and come here into the Brahmin clan. You have been adopted through the body of Brahma. You have come into the Brahmin clan, such fortune. These things cannot be written in the scriptures. They can only be explained. No one understands anything just from what is written. Now, only you children know that you have become the children of the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul. This one is the mother, Brahma. Only Brahma can be called Prajapita, but he's also, therefore, Prajamata. I adopt you children through this one. These are such deep matters. None of them can understand these things unless they are explained to them these points are explained to them personally. Only those who belong to this Brahmin clan will understand these things. They will be the ones who claim a high status in the deity clan. These things will not sit in the intellects of new ones. These things won't sit in their intellects, nor will they be able to explain them to others. Amongst you too, they sit in your intellects number-wise according to the effort you make. So according to the degree it sits, you'll make effort. According to the effort, more will sit in your intellect. It is remembered. You are the mother and father, uppercase. Shiv Baba is remembered. Then it is said, you are the mother and father. How can the one father be also the mother and the father? No one else can explain these things. Yeah? Can all of you explain these things if you had to a student? People learn by heart whatever Vyas wrote in the scriptures. They tell you that someone has told you all of these things and that you have learnt them by heart in the same way. It's very difficult for new people to understand. Even amongst those living here, no one is able to explain to others sufficiently well that they are souls and that their father is the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul. He's saying even in those days, amongst all the people, he's a very few can actually explain any of this to anyone. Only the unlimited Father gives you the unlimited inheritance. He gave you the inheritance. Now, after taking me birth, you have completed your 84 births. Therefore, the Father has come to give you your inheritance once again. It's so easy to explain all of this to others. Whom you would call the mother and father is something to think about. He adopts you through Brahma. Therefore, a mother is definitely needed. So according to the drama plan, a very special daughter is given the title of World Mother Jagadamba. A male being cannot be called the world mother. But we are calling a male being a world mother. He would be called the world father. Jagadpita, his name Prajapita is very well known. So world father Jagadpita. So he said, but because you really can't do it with the male. So he's kind of skirting both sides of the line. Oh, Brahma's the mother and the father. The mama is, oh, because there's mama and she's the world mother. Therefore, he can't really be the mother. So therefore, mama has to be called the mother. And then what do you do for Shiv Baba? He's the soul. He doesn't have a body at all. So he's playing, right? One minute he's using gender to matter, and the other time he's not using gender. It doesn't matter the gender to be a mother or a father. Okay, so his name is Prajapita, and it's very well known. Okay, so where is Praja Mata? They don't have a Prajamata in the. They have Jaganamba. This is why the mother is adopted. There is Adidev, and then Adidevi is appointed. There's also only one Jagadamba, and she is praised. There are so many gatherings for Jagadamba, but no one knows her occupation. There's a temple to Kali in Calcutta. There's a temple to Jagadamba in Bombay. They don't even realize it's the same being, same memorial. Their faces are different. Who is Jagadamba? No one knows this. She's called a goddess. Jagadamba shouldn't be called a goddess. She is actually a daughter. And therefore she's a daughter, so she is a Brahmin. She is the princess of this knowledge. So he's trying to say they don't even know where in the cycle she comes from. They just know her name. All of you all of you are children of Jagadamba. You listen to this knowledge, then relate it to others. Yeah, she's the mother of the Brahmins. But how can she be that? Brahma is the mother, he just said. Well, how can he be that? He said Shiv Baba and Brahma is both mother and the father. This is your business. God is teaching you. It isn't a human being that's teaching you. This Brahma too is a being. So when you're in a very gross consciousness, you hear things as absolute, Scorpio, this or that. Can't be both. Baba's trying to soften your intellect because that's a very body conscious functioning of your intellect. This is very tricky for people who come into Raj Yoga. They want all the rules. That's what I did. I want to understand everything, know all the rules, how to do it, what the boundaries are. And then as I started understanding and mastering the boundaries and the rules, I started realizing, oh, they're not really hard and fast boundaries. But you can't know that or experience that until you become pure or more pure. Because your ego is going to make you say, what? I know where to bend the boundary, and you don't. So that's why you got to follow for a very, very long time. And then you'll just know where you'll have such a good understanding of the Srimad and knowledge that you'll know where the boundary could flex a little without breaking a Srimad. Jagadamba shouldn't be called a goddess. She's a Brahmin. She's a princess of this knowledge. She received this knowledge from the Father. All of you are children of Jagadamba. You listen to this knowledge and then relate it to others. This is your business. God is teaching you. It isn't a human being who's teaching you. This Brahma, too, is a human being. Human beings cannot purify anyone. The intellects of human beings have become so dull that they don't understand anything at all. You know the difference between a sharp pencil and a dull pencil? That's like intellects. Only the one Father is the purifier. He only comes to purify the impure. This whole world is Tamopradhan, semicolon. All are impure. The new world is pure, and this old world is impure. There are the residents of hell in this old world, as well as the residents of heaven in that new world. The intellect also says that in the golden age, there will just be
deities
who are the residents of heaven, residents of Bharat. There'll be no one else there. You children have now received this knowledge. There were Sun Dynasty deities in the New World, and then there was the Moon Dynasty. Therefore, the Sun Dynasty became the past. Then, after the Moon Dynasty, there was the Merchant Dynasty. You've now received this knowledge. There truly was the kingdom of Lakshmi and Narayan. Okay, what existed before them? No one understands this. The fathers explain the secrets of the cycle to you children. There is the Merchant Dynasty in the Copper Age. In this Iron Age, there is the Shudra Dynasty. Is it a dynasty? Yeah, I guess it is, right? You now understand that you have become Brahmins. The Father has made you belong to him. That is, he has transferred you from the Shudra religion to the deity religion. Those of the Sun and Moon dynasties don't exist at this time. There's neither the kingdom of Lakshmi Narayan nor the kingdom of Ram. It's now the end of the Iron Age. So this is what's tricky about Raj Yoga. Deities don't exist at this time, but we're making effort to become a deity. But deities cannot exist at this time. So you can see why it's little bit by little bit over a long period of time. And one day you have realization, I am a deity, because you've been making effort to become one. But clearly, if you were a deity, this would be golden age, and it isn't. So you'll never really get there until the very end. But all deities have this awareness, so they're very, very determined and focused to keep making effort right to the very end. Not just survive to the very end. That's different. Oh, I didn't leave Gyan. I didn't die. that's not your. You don't get a trophy for that. There is this old impure world. There will definitely be the golden age after the end of the Iron Age. There's this old impure world in the Iron Age. Everyone here is in great sorrow. This is why they sing praise of the deities and bow down to their idols. Okay, who gave Lakshmi Narayan their kingdom? Is there anyone who can tell us this? This wouldn't be in anyone's thoughts. Yeah, only God could tell us that. And there's so many reasons. Well, how do you know it's God? Okay, because their intellects think that the Iron Age is still in its infancy. Is there anyone who can tell us this? This wouldn't be in anyone's thoughts because their intellects think that the Iron Age is still in its infancy. They think that there's still 40,000 years left. Therefore, these thoughts don't enter their intellects. You now have these thoughts. Some children say they're unable to stay in remembrance. Baba says, I can't stay in remembrance, Baba. And Baba says, it's quite funny actually. Why not? Why can't you? What's your very good excuse for why you can't stay in remembrance of your father? And Baba says, you know why? Why you can't stay in remembrance? Because they don't wake up early in the morning and imbibe this knowledge while sitting in remembrance. Okay, simple as that. Why are they unable to stay in remembrance? Because they don't wake up early in the morning to overcome the pull of the body. They understand it, but they're unable to explain it to anyone. This will definitely happen to some. Not everyone can become sensible to the same extent. So if you don't get up around Villa, he's calling you not so sensible. It has to be those who are sensible and those who are senseless. Not getting up from Villa, senseless. You're not thinking very well. Those who are very sensible will go and become kings and queens. You don't do your profit and loss. You don't know what you're losing. You don't even have awareness that you should care about what you're losing. Those who are very sensible will go and become kings and queens. The more someone understands and explains to others, the more his name will be glorified. Remember, he says, deities, you don't have to ask them to do. Human beings, they'll do it after you ask them. You ask somebody and they don't do it, he says,
worse than an animal.
Animals, worse than animals. Because you tell a mule, do this, and mule just looks at you. Tell a donkey, do this, and donkey says, I'm not doing that. So basically, you do the math. The more someone understands and explains to others, the more his name will be glorified. When they hold an exhibition, they write to Baba and they ask him to send so and so. Can you yourself not explain? Why do you need Baba to send so and so? Baba, that one has more practice. We are still a little kacha. They tell that to Baba. I could never say, Baba, I'm too kacha. Don't tell me, don't ask me to do anything. I'm too weak. Baba asks you to do something, you say, Hanji, and you do it. Baba himself says, whenever you receive an invitation, write to Baba, and then Baba will see who is available and who should be sent. But don't complain, Baba, you're not sending anybody. We can't do service until you do. Are there any sannyasis who have been also invited to the same place? In that case, a very good Brahma Kumari should be sent there. Okay, you can send anyone out of Kumarka, Manohar, and Ganga. Dadis. There are many children. Send Jagdish, send Ramesh. You can also understand that each one is cleverer than the other. Just as there are judges and magistrates, they are all cleverer than each other. The government knows that each one is cleverer than the other. This is why a case goes from the court to another court, to a higher court. Then the case reaches the highest court. It's then put to the court above that. If that one doesn't, so Supreme Court, right? If that one doesn't give the right judgment, the case is taken to an even higher court. Have mercy on this one. Such things happen here. If that one doesn't give the right judgment, the case is taken to a higher court. Have mercy on this one. Such things happen here. They don't happen in the golden and silver ages. From the copper age, there is the kingdom of the king and queen. There it would be an emperor and an empress who look after all the cases. So emperor and empress are the judges. They decide everything. There would only be a few cases because there's no conflict, right? Now all are impure and tamoparan. It's not like conflict, anybody's upset. There's just, they don't have the clarity to know what to do. If a case, so think how much loyalty there is. Lakshmi Narayan's decree this, everyone has such faith. Daddy says this, and we all say Hanji, right? But in impure worlds, they don't do that. If a case were taken to the emperor, he would give a small punishment. If he's talking Lokik, of course. If the mistake made was serious, he would be given a severe punishment. Here, there are so many judges and lawyers. Do you remember that scene in the Mahabharata where they asked Duryodhan versus the Yudhishthir? In this case, how would you rule? Yudhishthir says, cut off his hands or something, or execute him.
Death penalty.
Death penalty. And Yudhishthir says, we don't know. We don't know enough to say. What about this? What about that? What about this? When all those questions are answered, it turns out death penalty is way too harsh. So that's an example of Brahmins who are too judgmental and they don't know enough knowledge. There's such big difference in the activities. Raj Yoga is a path of accuracy and detail as a reflection of the purity of your consciousness, your intellect. No one knows what happens in the Golden Age. The Father is now explained to you, colon. Ask anyone if they know Lakshmi and Narayan. For instance, Birla has built many temples to Lakshmi Narayan, so a clever child should write a letter to him. You've had many temples built to Lakshmi Narayan, but how did they receive their kingdom? So it's Birla going to know nothing. You won't know how to answer that. Since it was the Iron Age before the Golden Age, there is nothing in the Iron Age. The deities would not have fought with anyone. So that's a very clever question, right? No one can become a master of the world by fighting. He said you can't rule the world with physical force. The pictures of Lakshmi Narayan are the pictures of those who were the masters of the world. It is now the Iron Age. Here people fight with weapons. The fathers explained that if those who belong to the Christian religion were to come together and love one another, if they would just love each other, they would become the masters of the world. We were just talking about that. However, it's only Lakshmi Narayan who become the masters of the world because only Lakshmi Narayan as emperor and empress love each other. And therefore, everyone in the Golden Age loves each other. So how important is it to love? The intellect says that if they were to come together, they would become the masters of the world, but none of them can become a king or a queen of the Golden Age. The drama is created in this way. We are now once again claiming our inheritance of heaven with the power of yoga. You can explain to them how they also attained their status, Lakshmi Narayan, from the Father a cycle ago at this confluence age. We have completed our 84 births and we are once again claiming our inheritance. Acha, to you sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, and the other mother, lowercase mother and father, and Jagadamba mother. Bab Dada, the spiritual father says namaste to you spiritual children. And
the spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father.
Mother, father, mother, mother. Essence for Dharna. Number one, in order to imbibe this knowledge and inspire others to imbibe it, wake up early in the morning and stay in remembrance of the Father. Practice explaining to others what you yourself have understood. 2, remove your intellect's yoga. So you got to practice churning the knowledge and trying to explain it to others and make you go deeper and deeper and refine your points. Like arrows, it's like sharpening your arrows, right? Remove your intellect yoga from worldly relations and remember the one Father from beyond this world. Understanding, knowing is just like putting somebody else's arrow in your quiver. But it's not your arrow, and the arrow may not be very sharp. You heard something, but you heard it at a certain awareness or consciousness. A sharp arrow that's going to penetrate has to have your power in the arrow. If you ever watch somebody make an arrow, it's quite an involved task. 2, remove your intellect yoga from worldly relations and remember the one Father from beyond this world. It is your business to listen to this knowledge that you receive from the Father and then relate it to others. Blessing. May you have the power of, which power? Of accommodation and become an example of one who creates an atmosphere of unity. What's that in Hindi again?
Samana.
Samana. Those beads are similar who have love for the one and have a constant and stable stage. They're close together. Those who follow the directions of the one who are united in their thoughts amongst themselves, they're all close together. They are the ones who can be threaded in the rosary. However, an atmosphere of following one direction can only be created when you have the power to accommodate. What makes you break a Srimat, not accept the direction? Ego, stubbornness, desire. Right? So to get over that, you need to accommodate. It's like tolerating until you can change. You have to accommodate until you can come up with a better solution. If there's a difference of opinion in any situation, you have to accommodate that difference. For only then will you become close together with that unity and become the example for everyone. So that's why anytime there's conflict in a center or in a household anywhere, and there's a Brahmin in that household, they have to look inside. See, what am I unable to tolerate and accommodate, and what weakness is causing that? Slogan: imbibe spirituality in your every thought, word, and action. There will then be splendor in the service you do. Avyat Signal. When you see any painful scene, and you have to be able to watch painful scenes until you don't have any pain. That's why I tell you, when you can't face pain, you're not very powerful. You're learning to face all the pains. How can you settle your karmic accounts if you won't face the pain that you've recorded inside that you're hiding from yourself? When you see any painful scene, be aware that that is any difficult obstacle, situation, conflict, suffering.
A gift.
Yes, the gift of. What do you tell yourself when you see all that stuff? So you don't overreact. So you don't react at all. It is nothing new. Those who have made the lesson of nothing new firm will never be afraid. You have fear because you don't realize identically repeating cycle and there's nothing new going on. So you're so wired into the drama, you take it all very personally, forgetting that you've seen this a million times. What's the big deal of getting upset or having waste thoughts about it? What happened? How did it happen? This happened, that happened. Whilst hearing and seeing all the news, remain powerful. While seeing the predestined drama unfold and continue to get, while hearing and seeing the news, remain powerful, while seeing the predestined drama unfold and continue to give power to others. People of the world become afraid, whereas you fill those souls with power. Continue to give the donation of peace and powers to all those who come into contact with you. Yeah, you're a power and virtue distribution center for God.